Hi there, my name's Mark and this is Dice Tales, and today I have 3 games of Vanguard that I had over the weekend. They were an escalation in practice for another Vanguard player's up-and-coming tournament. I brought my Night Stalkers as usual, and he's brought a specialised orc list. I say specialised because he's going to an escalation event where the first game starts as 150 points and has a stipulation where you at least need 2 warriors, and then the next 2 games will go up to 200 points as usual, and we're going to be playing the Power Stones and then the Capture the Plans, and finally we'll be playing the Portal. So let's get to it. And I took less pictures during the first game because I wasn't sure how appropriate it would be, but he was quite happy to take photos, so we're going to see more detail in the next game. So this is the first setup. You can see the Power Stones from the Kickstarter terrain pack laid out here, and a little bit of my terrain and some Middle Earth terrain. I also played Middle Earth earlier on this week, though I didn't video it. If you go into my blog below, you can see the photos of that game. It was a learning game, so there's not much going on. Didn't feel the need for the video there. Anyway, here, this is 150 points. I wanted to try mob assaults. I accidentally got sent an extra sprue of the scarecrows, so I can actually make a mob of the scarecrows this time. And I just wanted to see how that power worked, how effective it was. However, on this game, because I sort of threw together the list, I wasn't sure what I'd be playing. I didn't add any spears here, but I had spears in the next game, so let's see how that goes for me. So I have a Butcher Commander, 2 Horrors, these black ones, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got 5 Scarecrows, 2 Spectres who are my shootings, and the Banshee, which is completely new to me. Now, what happened here? He's deployed on all 3 of the Power Stones on his edge. These orcs managed to grab this Power Stone on the very first turn. It's a very fast game, this, and he's got his cavalry in the middle here, and again one of his orcs does a full run and then a fatigue to walk and catches the middle Power Stone. That's quite significant because that gives him more points, 2 points per turn rather than the 1 from either of the edges. Now, I don't really have any speedy units, so I can only really capture my left one, and if I really want to, I can really I can sacrifice my Banshee in that middle one, because his cavalry's there. That'll be a very bad decision for me. So what I have to do, we'll go on to see next. I have to move my Butcher Commander, another risky move, but I feel it's a large unit and lots of wounds, quite good armour, and I throw it, I move it into contact, so the next turn he can't charge me. However, because he out-activates me, his other unit charges me and knocks me down, meaning if he wins the initiative, which he will because he's got less units than me, he gets the next attack next turn, so he's going to be hitting and knock down commander units with one of his hardest hitters straight away, so that didn't go well for me, didn't quite go as planned. My Scarecrow and Horror units edge up the right flank, sort of hedging their bets to whether they're going to go and support the Banshee on the middle stone or try and capture the one on the right, which only has 2 orcs defending it. Where is this? I think, right, it's the middle stone again. A lot of the action takes place in the middle stone. His other orc charged and killed my Banshee in an outright, something like 5 or 6 hits on the first, on a crazy first turn charge. So my mob assault go and try and tackle that. And mob assault would give you -3 per Scarecrow that's fighting inside that mob assault. So I only charge, I think because of the ranges here, only 2 of the Scarecrows go in the first mob assault, but bring the Horror with them, who gives them vicious. So it's a clear charge, attacking with a buddy, and it's going to get -2. What do we call it? -2 crushing strength. That's it, which reduces, makes his armor save harder. He survives it. Can't quite make out his wounds on the back of that picture there. And his other orc that was around here comes to try and starts picking off, helping his comrade out. Things are also going bad for me on the leftmost stone, as his other rider has moved again to get into contact, so he's now stopping me scoring points at that point, and his archer comes in and takes a few swings. This horror does very well with his saving throws, but not very well on his retaliates or his own activations when he attacks back. So this is the chaos at the end of turn 2, I think. He's pretty much got this game at this point because he's neutralised the left and the middle stone, so no one's scoring points for there. He's still scoring points on the right, and I've lost both of my commanders. Really only got grunts left, to be honest. So it's going downhill for me. I think we call it pretty soon after that. Yes, we do. So this is moving on to the next game, game 2, a supplies game. Keeping the same sort of layout, we just remove the power stones and swap them in for the dead spy in the centre of the table there. Now this time we've moved up to 200 points, so I can bring an extra large unit. This time I brought the spellcaster Mind Screech. I love spellcasters, basically, is the reason for that. And I've added, I think, 2 Reapers and given spears to 2 of the scarecrows. The ones holding the long poles are my spear bearers. Now what happens here? This is the Orc band. He's added 2 Orcs here. On the first turn, he runs an Orc up the path and then fatigues him, so he gets the spy. That then makes you roll on, I think on a 7 or 8, the plans are on the spy, and that's what happens. They are in the centre of the table, just right there. Then, if you rolled any other number, then he would have been on the left or the rightmost corner that way, not deployed in, and would have to also run to that location. So this is different to most of my other games. It's always ended up in a different location, so this one was a new one, dropping them there. So he then moves his Orc cavalry, and they move, and they can move straight to the plans, and he picks up the plans at that point. That's the green token that we've got on there. Taking advantage of this on my first turn, my Mind Screech floats up and spends the power dice to cast a long spell as a short, and cast a lightning bolt, and the other effects blasts out and attacks both of them. However, he fails to take any of them down, just wounding them. So on his next turn, because I don't think I've got anything that can race up there as fast as he can, he can run that Orc away, unfortunately. He moves some archers into a flanking position by a very safe wall to start peppering my scarecrows with arrows. And further Orcs come forward just to try and hinder me and slow me down. My Reaper couldn't quite get to him, so he's just moved up onto a hill ready to pounce down on him next turn. This is turn 2. And he's fled with the majority of his forces around the back of that farm building there. So I thought I had photos of effects going on with the arrows, mustn't have saved it correctly. Right, so going into turn 2, I moved my Butcher up to support the Scarecrow, and I have to be clever here, because he's got an Orc behind that building with the plans. He needs to keep those plans secure until the end of turn 5, possibly turn 6. So I need to hedge my bets and send my forces both ways to try and catch him if he does go either way. It's going to be tricky either way because he is a cavalry unit. I don't really have anything that fast, so I've got to try and corner him with terrain and such. So turn 3, there's my power rolls down at the bottom there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this turn, it looks like. He sends in his other cavalry without the plans to slow up my mob. So this is the first time I get a mob assault, and this time it's all 3 scarecrows, assisted by a spear which isn't in that combat, just to the top there. And there's a vicious horror just below there, and that was quite a devastating attack though, leaving him on 1 hit point. I think he must have survived his Inspire roll, yes I think he did. So I end up throwing my Reaper into that combat as well, knocked down, and a free... no, it wasn't an open charge because I was charging down off the hill, but it threw enough dice at that combat to finally take out that nasty commander type too sure what's going on there when it does the black screens. There's nothing in that folder for it to pick up. Anyway, so this is so that board at the back is the one with the plans. He's broken at this point, and he activates the board with the plans, and he fails and has to move off the board. However, when he reaches the edge, he gets another leadership, a nerve test. So he gathers his senses and says, right, I can't flee this battle, fully all good, and manages to remain on the edge of the table. If he had failed that second roll, he would have dropped the plans there as a casualty, giving me possibly a chance to pick them up, or at least giving me a weaker unit to deal with if he managed to get another orc to pick it up before me. So he does have a command unit with Inspire nearby, but he's just out of range, and he does then bring him back in to range of these other units. So, and again, I'm just trying to advance around both sides of that farmhouse. Here we go. That's me looking a little bit smug, knowing that it's broken. I'm thinking, got about 2 turns to try and get these plans that are a good distance away from me. It's feeling just in my grasp, just doable. My Reapers have got into play here, so I've got a Horror and a Reaper trying to take down that Orc with the plans. It doesn't quite happen for me. He backs up that combat and knocks down my Reaper. I think takes him out. Yep. And more Orcs with Inspiring come round, so even though he's broken now, he's getting twice the rolls on this, so he's probably not going to flee. It's unlikely. I managed to knock down a few of his guys, and my mob of Scarecrows and Spectres is coming in there. It's a difficult turn because I needed to try and get Spectres to maybe shoot before things got into combat. That's how that sort of played out. Here we go, got another Reaper coming around the corner, hoping to join the fray. And that's pretty much where it ends. I think we do go into a turn 6, but I don't think I got any photos of it. So that Mind Screech, too slow to get around the back. Just in case he did escape on the cavalry, it was ready to try and throw out a 12-inch lightning bolt again. However, wasn't needed in this case. And in a tournament, I think turn 5 is the last turn. On a friendly game, you can roll off and have a turn 6. I think we did that, and he managed to pass his rolls and stay in. Keep the plans basically. I couldn't get close enough. He kept throwing orcs at my mobs, so I think that's another mob fight, and his cavalry orc with the plans survived. Oh, we did go on a bit. So Reaper fight, orc keeping my mob in control because he blocked it. You can't go past a 1 inch of a unit, so my horror was ineffective. We get in touching range of that orc, but we failed to take it down. He knocks me down. There we go. And then on to our final game, the portal. Changed up the terrain a little bit here, and we put the portal on top of a hill. On this scene, you can see that I've sort of got a sloping path on the far right there. We ended up moving that into a chasm to give us a jump, because we think that his side is maybe a little bit harder or longer to get onto that portal. And with a deployment, I can actually start on that rise. We're calling it a sort of a clambering step up. So I make it a little bit difficult for ourselves. This is his side. He can clamber onto that one with the bridge and get up there. And there's also some steps going onto the portal there. Let's see if we can see the chasm. There we go. We'll make it into a chasm. They can jump over that on a run. And they have to roll a d8 and get under their speed, otherwise they're going to fall into that and take a strength to hit. This is my deployment, so I try and cover these on the left hand side of the picture. I try and cover the stair, that steep section going up, because he's got some orcs coming that way. And most of my scarecrows, because they can score points quite well if they get onto that portal, and they're only lowly grunts for me, so I'm hoping that they can all make that jump and get as close to that portal and start scoring points. The way the portal works is at the end of the turn, if you're touching the portal, you're scoring a point. If a command unit touching the portal, I think you're scoring 2 or 3 points. I'd have to double check the rules whether it's 2 or 3. but also at the end of the turn you then roll a d8. If you roll a 7 or 8, you get sucked into the portal and are a casualty for the game. So this is my Spectre making its first jump across that, first successful jump across that chasm. And then he gets pot shots from the archers, but survives. Then force fatiguing to take him out of range of the archers and into touching range of the portal. And you can see 2 other scarecrows and spectres have made the jump there. And again, I'm going to need to force fatigue them to get them in touching range of that portal to score points on the first turn. A Reaper moves into the jungle. It feels very predatorish because these orcs are going to come this way up to those steps. And that staff template is 12 inches long. That's the range of my spellcasting lightning bolts, so it's covering those stairs as well from my mind screech. There we go. So here's these orcs coming. He blocks with that first orc to take the brunt of that spell, so I don't need to boost it. Because he moved his other 2 orcs in a pack, and if he didn't put that other orc in front, I could have moved my mind screech forward. Done a short action with a power dice to cast a lightning bolt and hit all, well, potentially all 3 of them. So tactical play by him. His axe wielders are coming up the bridgeway here. I've got more guys, and you can see his boars have made it up. They've charged up this steps hillside on the right hand side, and sort of manoeuvred around my scarecrows without getting into the 1 inch to get into touching range of the portal. And one of those is commander as well, so it's risky for him. I really do hope he gets stuck into the portal. And this is a better image from his side. Now I've blocked the way for my guys coming onto the hills, because I've already got people who have made the jump. So they're going to have to wait till next turn. Fortunately they're the guys with the spears as well. I should have maybe reordered those a little bit better, so that my next turn's mob assaults would have the extra spear coming on as well. So fatiguing to get into range. So he scored 4 points in the first turn, I only scored 2 points. And that's my next turn's power dice. His orc charged my leading Reaper and took him down, and then he consolidated onto the stepped path on my side of the hill. My butcher's waving his weapons angrily, ready to take on that fight. This is a roll from one of the scarecrows fighting one of the boars on the hilltop. He would have rolled like 2 dice in combat. I think he got so many 8s that he ended up doing 5 hits in that one roll. So I thought that was photo worthy. My butcher has killed the orc on the bridge, leaving a nice blood splatter there, and his remaining fatigue sweat. Lovely image. We did say that any of the hill was clamberable, but it does make me think that maybe the game should go a bit Star Warsy and say, here's another equipment, rope and grapples, so you can, if you do like playing with 3D terrain, that you could add the aspect of, do you have a unit which can, if you're expecting that kind of terrain, or you're playing in a mountainous area and you're going to bring terrain like that you would maybe sacrifice a unit to get extra equipment, so units could freely climb things like this instead of relying on stairs. So that's something I'd like to see, and maybe broach the Mantic company. And also those Middle-earth measures, really like those. Maybe a generic Mantic version of more in line with the ranges that we're going to see in Kings of War Vanguard. I'd love to see something again like that. So we've got a bit of chaos going on this portal hilltop. He's manoeuvring his guys to shift around to try and block me from getting in. Yes, he's got an orc cavalry bow rider coming around the right to pick my guys off the portal, and he's also going to start plinking me with arrows as well where he can. So his archers there are taking on my spear guys who have just made the jump. I think he does quite successfully. They're only grunts, so and I get no inspiring, so I can't reroll my failed nerve tests. And once you get taken down to 0 wounds, if you're a warrior you can make nerve tests, if you're a grunt you're just off the board. Here's my Photoshop effect of a guy getting sucked into the abyss. One of my guys gets sucked in. We realised in the first turn he actually played wrong, so he might have scored, well, I think we retrograded his points a little bit. because he was re-rolling his failed, thinking that they were leadership tests, but they're not leadership tests, they're just random portal tests. So on a 7 or an 8, that's a fail, you get sucked into the portal. So we retro lost, I think it was just his grunt, so that got sucked in, and he was quite lucky with his command models on the portal, as I remember. But that's one of my Reapers getting sucked away. Here we go, that's his archer, manoeuvring to get clear shots at my newly arrived on Portal Hill. All my spectres and scarecrows that were on that chasm side, everyone made a successful jump. There was one point where one didn't make a successful jump, but we took it back because he was trying to make a charge at the same time. We didn't allow that, so the one time he failed, we ignored the roll because it wasn't legal, and then the next time he made a normal jump, he passed. So that was about eight jumps, all successful. I love jumping in games. I really need to maybe check out that Drowned Earth game, which is very freestyle, what do you call it, free running kind of game. If you've got windows to jump through, I play Infinity a lot and I love doing that in Infinity as well. So yeah, more jumping in games, please. My butcher has made it onto the hill. It's been slow progress because he's been sort of throwing things in front of me, and his big base can't really manoeuvre. And the way that we place this portal, unlike the last game when I played Portal, where we said we could move through it, this time we played it as fully blocking terrain, so you can't shoot through it. All you can do is go around the edges, and only small units can really fit around the edges. So, sort of bad decision for me. I thought my flyer would be faster at getting up there, because he had to shoot the orc on the stairs, and the ones on the hill that he could see were engaged. He's a bit ineffective in this game as well. So we start butchering the orcs on the top there. He does quite well butchering. Because he kills my scarecrow, I can now lightning bolt him at this point, so it's all about turn activation. View from his side, you can see he's clearing off my units now, and leaving me little chance to sort of walk around him to get into that scoring range for that portal. And that is it. We called it there. There was, I think that was actually turn 3 going into turn 4, and we stopped it. We stopped it because he'd actually scored 19 points, and I was only on 6 at that point. And I think I worked out that even if I had all my units on the next 3 turns on that portal, I would still have less points than him, and that was if I scored maximum points on the next 3 turns, I would still have less points than him, and that wasn't taken into account that he may have knocked me down, killed something as well. So we called the game there. That was the end of the game 3. Let's see. I want to find a photo. About one. Well, we had 2 rules queries that came up. One was when you're fleeing and you're on a corner deployment, do you flee off either edge, or do you have to go back to sort of your edge, your table edge which you're sat behind? Was one question that sort of came up. And I think round about here we were shooting the lightning bolts. This one. Well, maybe not this picture. There was another picture I'm sure I photoshopped up. But I shoot the orc in with clear shots with my lightning bolts. The one on the far right there. Does that then give me a clear shot, because it's an area of effect, to the 2 behind the wall? Because the effect says that it comes from the initial target. So I hit the initial orc, and then it flares out from him to the 2, giving me a rear shot and also a clear shot. So I'm going to post that on the Vanguard Fanatic forums, and see what answer we get there, see if we played it right. And that's it. Three very enjoyable games. He practiced for a campaign, as I say. He was an escalation, so the first game was 150. I don't know if it then went up to 175 when we just played 200 or not, just to make it easier. And on the day I was meant to be demoing it at the Forge that day, but there was a Keyforge game going on, so most of the people were engaged with that. And later on in the game, we had a few interesting eyes come and cast their eyes over the board and say what we were playing. So we gave them a rundown and overview of what was going on, and there was some Necromunders who seemed quite interested in it. So yeah, it was a successful day. 3 very enjoyable games. I didn't win one of them, though that middle game with the supplies being so close. That was a great one. And even the playing off the tactics and just the fun of jumping over chasms was great in the third game too. First game was maybe a little bit of a steamroller. I didn't really plan for a 150-point game, so probably need to better rethink a list if that ever happens again. Have a plan handy on what to bring. I do like mob assaults. I'm thinking of like doubling the number of scarecrows for the next game. I think I had 5 in that one. What would 10 look like? And then other supporting cast. I think it was really devastating when it hits. And also you then get the order activation power as well. So that's it. That's Kings of War Vanguard. 3 games. Orcs vs Night, Stalkers. Orcs successful in all 3 games. And a few questions I'm going to ask on the forum about it. The fleeing and the area effects blasts. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Fairly short, sweet. Let's see what else I've played. I've got an X-Wing game that I was planning on photoshopping up a bit. I'm reviewing some video footage of it so I can show the dice on the pictures as well. And then I've got more Vanguard and maybe X-Wing. I think even an Infinity game coming up, and I don't know if I'm going to get more Lord of the Rings in later. I think I've got to focus on painting my guys up and start playing with another faction in Vanguard as well. Got to press the guys at Altrincham, see where the campaign is up to, if we're progressing it or starting again. And there is a Kill Team Arena campaign starting up in my local shop too. So, that is it. Good night from me. Good night from Dice Tales. Good night.